Golden Radio Hour.
The Mighty Casey, starring Paul Dooley, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for The Twilight Zone by Rod Serling. Heard in the cast were Christian Stolte, Joby Cerny, Jeff Lupetin, Alex Sopener, Kurt Nabig, Derek Purcell, Roger Mueller, Elizabeth Lido, Carl Amari, Jason Mallow, Doug James, and Vince Amari. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
There is a fifth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a dimension as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It is the middle ground between light and shadow, and it lies between the pit of man's fears and the summit of his knowledge. This is the dimension of imagination. It is an area which we call the Twilight Zone.
Okay, Pete, let's mark it off.
Starting where?
The dugout. Run a chalk line in front of the fence all the way to the gate so they can bulldoze it flat.
Wait, what's the dugout?
Where the team would wait. They'd sit on the bench, shoot the bull. Sometimes McGarry'd chew 'em out, but good.
Oh, I know what a dugout is. But why'd you call it that? I don't see any bench.
Not now, you don't. Used to be right over there, under the bleachers, near home plate.
Okay, I get it. This place used to be a ballpark. Of course, that was before my time.
Yeah, I'll bet it was.
I always thought this was a track for motocross and monster trucks. My old man used to take me before it was a swap meet of me.
That right.
There was this one truck, the Grave Digger. Oh, man, you should have seen it. Big old tires, rolled right over anything.
How old are you, kid?
Me, 22.
22? I was out of high school before you were born. You know what? You really missed a lot.
Yeah, Pops, back in the day. Hey, you ever see the monster trucks?
Afraid I missed that. Ever see the Zephyrs?
The what?
Only the greatest ball club there ever was.
Sure. That's why I never heard of them. Yeah, World Series champs, huh?
They could have been. Let me tell you. And they almost did. 1 year in particular.
We better get back to work, Corrigan.
Wait a while, kid. I want to tell you a story. You bring your lunch?
Sure, I brought it in the truck.
Then let's take a load off. Good time for a break.
It's okay by me.
We can sit over there in the pitcher's mound. Of course, you can't see it anymore, but it was there. Fletch was the regular pitcher. He was a nice guy, but he had an arm like an old lady. Then one day out of the blue. Oh, you're not going to believe this.
Oh, one day what?
Well, it was, must have been July. Yeah, that's it. Middle of the season, everybody was talking about the Giants, how good they look, what a lineup, blah, blah, blah. The Zephyrs were stuck in a toilet. Then one day, McGarry, that was the manager, he called for open tryouts. Why not? Couldn't be any worse than what we had. That was when he came along. Didn't look like much. But when he wound up, man, what an arm.
Who?
I'm getting to it. Better start at the beginning. It was a hot one that year. No rain, the sun beating down.
You're standing in the middle of what used to be a baseball stadium. Now the grandstand is falling apart, the field is covered with weeds, and the men who played here are nothing but ghosts. But believe it or not, this was once home to a major league team known as the Hoboken Zephyrs. Never heard of them? That's not surprising, unless you're one of the old-timers. Today it holds only memories and no sound except the wind that stirs in the high grass of the outfield. A wind that on occasion still carries a faint, eerie echo of the crowd that once sat in those bleachers. We're about to travel back in time to a day when the Hoboken Zephyrs were still a part of the National League, and this mausoleum of memories was an honest-to-Pete attraction. But since it's strictly a story of make-believe, we must begin this way. Once upon a time, in New Jersey, a most unusual event happened on the way to the ballpark. In a moment, you'll meet the cause of that event, a left-hander named Casey. Not the most original of monikers, but that's what he was called. So sit back, grab a hot dog and a bag of peanuts, and get ready for the playoffs. Because this particular broadcast is brought to you live from the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, The Mighty Casey, starring Paul Dooley, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
All right, new guys, let me see what you got. Give me 50 jumping jacks.
Make it 100.
Make it 100. Then take a lap around the field.
2 laps.
You got it, McGarry. Of course, if we burn them out too fast.
They better learn to hustle or they're out of here.
Okay, Mouth, you say so. Let me hear you count. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Morning, McGarry.
Beasley. 4 great-looking boys, huh? The one with the black socks with the Florsheim's brought a note from his mother.
Who are you expecting, the All-Stars? Post a sign for open tryouts in a last-place club that happens to be 31 games out of first place, and this is what shows up.
You never know, I guess. Might be some talent out there.
Yeah, and you might be Yogi Berra.
I can't make something out of nothing. You're the owner of the club. You gotta give me some ball players.
Think you'd know what to do with them if I did? 20 games out of fourth place, and the only big average we've got is a manager with the widest mouth in the business. When the Zephyrs win 1 game, we gotta call it a streak. Buddy boy, when contract time comes around, you don't have to.
Sure, you let me go. Who you gonna get?
Now think of something.
You can always manage the team yourself.
One more time, Fletch. Ugh, trying to get it over the plate.
You okay, Monkey? I must have slept funny on my arm last night.
How's the team doing?
Are you kidding? Last week, Fletch pitched 4 innings and only gave up 6 runs. That makes him our most valuable player of the month. Hey! Okay, let's see some sweat out there.
New guys, take a lap.
We gotta do it. Jesus, it just goes on forever and ever.
I get it. Dugout. What? Who? Just a minute, I'll ask him. McGarry,
Yeah?
you want to look at a pitcher?
You mean someone besides Fletcher? Now, why would I want to do that?
Send him down.
New boy?
Gotta warn you, he's a lefty.
Lefty, schmefty. If he's got one arm that works, he's for us. Hey, Monk,
Yeah.
Fletch can take it easy now. I got a new boy coming in. Catch a few for him?
Yeah, sure, Mouth. Yeah, okay, Fletch. Go on, shower up.
Check.
One more lap, let's go.
You got the lineup for tonight?
I'm working on it.
Who's the starting pitcher?
I don't know yet.
You don't know?
Have to see how it goes. Whoever's hot gets a shot. Make that lukewarm.
Oh, my.
Chavez, that's enough with the laps. They look like they're gonna pass out.
Check. Take 5, boys.
All right, McGarry, I've seen enough.
Yeah, you and me both.
What's that?
I said I'll see you on the sports page.
I'll stop by later.
You do that.
Mr. McGarry?
Over there. Hey, Mouth! Your new man's here.
You gotta be kidding.
Mr. McGarry, is it?
Okay, what's the gag?
I don't know what you...
Come clean, Gramps. Did old man Beasley put you up to it?
I'm afraid
Well, tell him I don't need a water boy. Thanks for coming by. Leave your name at the office.
There must be some misunderstanding. I'm here about the pitching position.
Right. Hardy har har.
Oh, I'm not a pitcher, though I've thrown a few baseballs in my time. Of course, that was before the war.
Yeah? Which one? The Civil War? You don't look old enough for Valley Forge, but come to think of it, was the winter really as cold as they say?
I represent Casey.
Oh, Casey. Straight from Mudville, I bet. Even got himself an agent. How much do you get? 10% of nothing?
Here he is now.
Him? What is he? 115 pounds soaking wet? Listen, no offense, but if a wind comes up, those ears will start flapping and he'll take off like Dumbo.
Say hello, Casey.
Nice one, Miller.
Oh, pleased to meet you. Hey, watch out. I said watch out, the ball's coming down.
Step aside, Casey. Now, boy. I said... Ooh.
Ow! Right on the old beam. That must have hurt. You okay, fella?
Oh, Casey's fine. Just fine.
How come he's still standing? Must be out on his feet. I'll call an ambulance. Don't go suing us now.
I wouldn't think of it. Casey, as I was saying, this is Mr. McGarry. He's the manager.
Hello.
Pleased to meet you. Do you want to lie down? Come on in the dugout.
Shake hands, Casey.
That's all right.
You remember how to shake hands, don't you?
Yes, sir.
Right hand, Casey. Your right hand.
Put her there, pal. Oh, ow!
You can let go, Casey. That's right. Release now.
Whoa! My hand. What a grip.
Sorry.
Casey doesn't know his own strength sometimes.
Some arm. Never would have guessed it. Well, let's see what he can do. Mind if I try him out?
That's what we're here for. Right, Casey?
Correct.
Okay. See that guy over there with the great big mitt?
Yes, we see him.
He's what's known as a catcher. His name is Monk.
Ah.
Go out there and throw him a few.
Thank you, Mr. McCary.
This I gotta see.
Quite.
You his father?
Casey? Oh, no, he has no father.
An orphan, huh?
Not exactly. I guess you'd call me his creator.
That a fact.
It is, actually.
Come from around here, does he?
You might say so.
Uh-huh. How old is he?
Well, that's a little difficult to say.
What's difficult about it?
It's hard to discuss Casey's age in chronological terms. He's only been in existence for a brief time. What I mean is, he has the mind and physique of roughly a 22-year-old, but in terms of how long he's been here, the answer would be 3 weeks.
Huh?
Approximately.
Would you mind going over that again?
You see, I'm an inventor. I made Casey.
You made?
In my workshop.
Well, that's swell, pal. There ain't too many homemade left-handers in the league.
You don't understand. I'm serious.
Sure you are. Anytime you're ready.
Yes, sir.
Oh, jeez Louise.
That's his fastball. Try a curve now, Casey. His curveball.
Hey, do that again.
If you like.
Hey!
What was that?
We don't have a name for it yet. Go ahead now, Casey. Don't hold back.
Oh, pah, enough already.
Something wrong?
Wrong? What, you see him? That kid, he picks up where Feller left off. He's got a fastball almost went through my glove. And a curve, and a hook, and a knuckler, or I don't know, whatever you want to call it. He got control like he uses radar. Oh, it's the best pitcher I ever caught in my life.
Thanks, Monk. That's enough for today.
I swear, I never seen anything like it. He don't even pitch like a human being.
Precisely.
Well, he's still rough, Gramps. He's plenty rough, but I might give him a try. If he can do the same thing when there's a game on.
Oh, he can do it. Consistency's not a problem. He's a robot, you know.
Yeah, don't say that. Don't ever say the word R-O-B-O-T-T around here. We'll just keep that one between us, okay?
Did you like my pitching, Mr. McGarry?
You might have a little potential, Casey, like I told Mr. Stillman here.
Professor.
The Professor Stillman. You're awful rough around the edges, but I think maybe we could give you a shot. I like to help young ball players. Now you go on into the locker room and find a uniform that fits. He can wear a uniform, can he?
Anything you like.
Then go and change and come back, and we'll discuss a little contract. Just the three of us.
That seems fair. Very kind of you, Mr. McGarry.
Don't mention it. Go on now.
Say thank you, Casey.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you, sir. Come along. You're going to be a real baseball player now, just like I promised you. Isn't that wonderful?
Yes. Wonderful.
General Manager's office? This is McGarry. Now listen. Draw up a contract. New pitcher, name of Casey. No, I don't know his last name. Leave that part blank. Just do it. The only thing that's between us and a pennant now is if this guy's battery goes dead or he rusts in the rain. Never mind what I mean. Draw up the contract before he gets away.
And ready in 3, 2.
Good afternoon, sports fans. We're coming to you live for the last in a series of home games for the Hoboken Zephyrs. The Bullets are already on the field, warming up, but there's been a delay. The Zephyrs are still in the locker room. Now, we understand they're getting a last-minute pep talk from their manager, the colorful Mouth McGarry, and knowing him, it's an earful.
Peanuts, Red Hots.
Well, the Zephyrs are at the bottom of the league this season, which means this is a make-or-break situation. And rumor has it there's a new pitcher on the team, but that's unconfirmed. Ah, yes, a beautiful sunny day. Local fans all here, ready to root for the home team. Still, no sign of the boys from Hoboken. Well, this might be a good time for a break before the action starts, but we'll try to get word from the locker room. But till then, let's go to a commercial.
And you're on. 60 seconds.
How much longer do I have to fill?
Beats me.
What's with these losers? Well, if I was on that team, I guess I wouldn't want to show my face either.
45 seconds.
Beer here, get your ice cold beer.
Somebody get me a beer. I'm dying out here. What am I supposed to do? Play tiddlywinks? It's going to be another slaughter anyway. Hey, ask him if he's got anything stronger than beer.
You can always read him the stats.
There are no stats. If this team was any lower, they'd get stuck in the grass. What am I doing here? Get me another gig. Little League. The weather. I don't care. Just get me out.
20 seconds.
The Zephyrs are charging onto the field. No. The Zephyrs look hungry this afternoon. Yeah, sure. Oh, who am I kidding? They're not going to show. The game's canceled. You'll see.
10 seconds to air.
Oh, those bums. It's the same old story. Fletcher winds up, he throws, and he drops the ball on his foot. They should send out a bunch of chimpanzees.
5, 4, 3, 2.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to more thrilling baseball action.
All right, you got the signals down now, kid?
There's no iron.
Okay, when you're ready to throw, you watch my fingers. See, I'll give you the hand signals, just like we practice.
Remember the one for the fastball?
This one.
Yes.
And a curve? Show him the one for a curveball.
Yeah, it's right here.
Well, what are we waiting for, Mouth? This ain't a training session. This is for real.
You're telling me? All right, kid. You got the signals down. Look, the main thing is walk out there like you own the place. But be cool. Nice and steady.
Cool? He means don't be nervous.
Nervous.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever you're feeling, don't let it show. Pull your cap down over your eyes like this. You got nerves of steel. You know what I mean?
Not steel, exactly.
You know what nerves are, Casey.
Oh, yes. Neurons, axons, and dendrites.
This case, nerves means ill at ease, as if one of your electrodes were corroded and,
Nervous, Casey. Like as if it's 2 out in the ninth and you're 1 up and you're pitching against Joe DiMaggio. He comes up to the plate, looking intent, eyes straight ahead.
That wouldn't make me nervous.
No? Why not?
I don't know anyone named DiMaggio.
What? He never heard of...
I know what he said. He's a great kidder, ain't he? I love this guy. All right, fellas, this is it. Let's get going.
It's time, Casey.
Yes, sir.
Mr. McGarry,
Yeah?
are you coming?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm coming.
Something the matter?
I was just, thinking about the Giants.
We're not playing the Giants today, are we?
No, but I can't wait to knock them off. For that matter, I'd love to knock off the Phillies and the Cards, too. Or the Braves in Cincinnati. Or even the Hanksville Bullets. Them especially. Those bums beat us 11-0 in spring training.
I think that will happen. Casey will come through for you, Mr. McGarry. Most definitely.
You never told me. What have you got riding on this? What's your angle?
With Casey? My interest is purely scientific. I know he's a Superman of sorts, but I need to have that proven under test conditions.
You mean you can't guarantee he'll work?
Oh, I have no doubts. Once I built a home economist to run my house. Marvelous cook. I gained 46 pounds before I had to, dismantle her. Now, with a model such as Casey, with his strength and accuracy, I knew he was destined to play baseball. And in order to prove my point, I had to have him pitch in competition. As an acid test, I settled on the absolute worst team I could find. Nothing personal.
Nah, of course not. Very nice of you to think of us, Mr. Stillman.
Professor Stillman.
Professor, I really appreciate it. No kidding.
You can feel excitement in the air as the Zephyrs take to the field.
Hey, you bums, do something.
The pressure's on the home team, tensions are high, and there's a groundswell of support as this new pitcher approaches the mound. Well, it's do or die today. Fletcher's on the bench, and the new man, the only name I have is Casey, and frankly, he doesn't look like much. But his metal's about to be tested, to coin a phrase.
Go home, kid, your mother's calling you.
The umpire signals for the start of the game.
Play ball.
The ball is whipped around the infield, and now the second baseman is hand-carrying it over to Casey. He rubs it off on his jersey and hands it to him. The pitcher is, yes, he finally takes it. He turns to face the batter, waiting for a signal. Here's the windup. He throws. The batter swings.
Steve right.
I must have missed that one, folks. It looks like the batter missed it, too. He went over the plate so fast, he swung a full 360. Good gravy, was that a fastball?
Lucky pitch.
Let me see you do that again.
Take your best shot.
Second pitch. Here's the windup. Whoa, Nelly! Halloran tries to take a bite out of it and misses. He's off his feet. Looks like he threw his back out, twisted around like a pretzel. Good golly, Miss Molly, we got ourselves a pitching machine.
In baseball news, here's a cutie for you. Seems there's a rookie in Hoboken who's pitched 3 straight shutouts.
They said it couldn't be done, but with a blistering performance to sew up 9 in a row.
In a stunning comeback, the Zephyrs zoom to 4th place in the National League as Casey gets ready for number 14.
And that makes 3 more no-hitters for the mighty Casey. The Zephyrs are locked into 1st place.
Questions in the news this morning about the mysterious Casey. Where does he get his superhuman ability?
Playoffs temporarily suspended as the Baseball Commission orders an investigation.
Today's headline, the mighty Casey. Is he on steroids? Good day.
All right, Casey, if you just relax.
What do you mean?
He's relaxed. Let's get this over with, Doc.
I'm going to sit down in front of you and strike your knee with this little rubber hammer.
Why?
It's a test, Casey.
Nothing to get shook about.
You mean shaken?
Here we go.
Casey, watch where you're kicking.
Well, I'd say his reflexes are 100%.
That it, Doctor?
Not quite, Mr. Beasley. Just let me check his pulse and do a blood test.
Oh, no.
What's the matter?
If Casey doesn't pass his physical, there goes the pennant. There goes the series. There goes my career.
But why are you worried? He doesn't take anything illegal, does he?
Absolutely not. You may rely on it.
Then...
there's something I haven't told you, Beasley.
What?
Now to take your pulse.
Hey, Doc, you really need to do that?
Oh, a mere formality. He seems to be in A1 shape.
Absolute perfection, if I do say so.
Quiet for a moment, gentlemen, while I listen through the stethoscope.
Oh, boy. Here it comes.
Breathe, please. Once more.
What's wrong?
Nothing. Not a thing. Everything sounds fine. It's just that...
Out with it. What?
This man doesn't have a pulse. No heartbeat either.
Try again.
I already have. This man isn't alive. He can't be.
That's pretty funny, Doc. Okay, go ahead and draw your blood sample. We gotta get Casey cleared for the rest of the season.
I'm afraid that won't be possible.
Why don't you wait out in the hall, Stillman? You're starting to get on my nerves.
Nerves make up the neurological system in the human body. When a small electrical charge passes from one to another...
Enough already.
Mr. McGarry, it'll have to come out now. There's no way to avoid it, Doctor.
What's this all about, Mouth?
Beasley, you ain't gonna like this, but, see, I didn't have a choice. It was Casey or nothing.
Are you trying to put something over on me?
Ah, what a pitcher he was. The only ball player I ever had on the team who didn't eat nothing. Not even a hot dog.
Doctor.
Is there a problem?
I think you should know something before you go any further.
Go ahead. Give it to him.
Casey doesn't have any pulse or heartbeat because he doesn't have any heart.
How's that?
He's a robot.
A what?
You heard the man.
A robot, or if you prefer, an android made from lifelike materials to resemble a human being.
Are you sure?
Oh, I should be. I built him.
And he's been pitching for the Hoboken Zephyrs?
Doctor, this is the first I've heard of it.
Well, under the circumstances, I have no choice but to notify the baseball commissioner.
Move over, Casey. I don't feel so good. Doc, you got anything for a splitting headache?
McGarry, you gave me your word.
Yeah, that the team would win. I didn't say nothing about...
Yes, you did. You brought me Casey
and I said I never seen anything like him. Did I lie?
Not as such, but you can't run roughshod over the rules. I'm holding you in breach of contract.
Me? What did I do? I got you a winner. Know how many tickets we sold? You never had such a season.
All right. Knock it off, you two. I'm the commissioner, and I say he's suspended. That's final.
On what grounds? He didn't take no illegal substances.
He doesn't have to. Everything about him is illegal, from the top of his head to the cleats on his shoes. He's a machine.
So?
Article 6, Section 2 of the Baseball Code, I quote, "A team should consist of 9 men." End quote. Men, understand? Not robots, or vacuum cleaners, or mix masters.
Commissioner, perhaps there's another way of looking at this. For all intents and purposes, he is human. Casey, would you mind saying a few words? Tell us about yourself.
Where should I begin?
At the beginning, of course.
Yeah, where was he born? All men are born, not to assemble in a machine shop.
Go ahead, Casey. What state?
I was born in a state of ignorance.
There you go. My point exactly.
Well, he can talk, can't he? He talks as good as me. That means he's got to be alive.
I wouldn't count on it.
But he is not human.
Easy for you to say. How human do you want him? He's got arms, legs, a face.
And ears.
But no heart. He doesn't even own one. How can he be human without a heart?
Beasley don't have a heart either. He owns 40% of the ball club.
That's it, gentlemen. He doesn't have a heart. Ergo, he isn't human. And that's a violation of the baseball code. Therefore, he doesn't play.
Mr. Commissioner, suppose this, just for the sake of argument. Supposing I gave him a heart.
You gave him? Where will you get one? At the local parts store?
Hear me out. If that essential is the only thing that renders him different from the norm, I could try an operation. I think I could do it. In fact, I'm sure I could. Supply him with a self-contained mechanical heart, that is.
Now you're talking, Prof. How about that, huh? What do you say?
Well, it would be very irregular. If he were to be given a heart, would medical science classify him as... what I mean is, could he then be called a...
He had the doc fooled even without one.
All right. With a heart, I'll give him a temporary okay until the league meeting in October. Then we'll have to take it up in session. The other teams will scream bloody murder. I can see DeRocher now.
Then it's all settled. Casey gets a heart and accreditation as human, and the Zephyrs... Take it, Mouthy.
With pleasure. Hoboken wins the pennant for the first time in 23 years.
So, where's Casey? Search me. He's supposed to be here.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, operator.
Well, how's Casey? Is he coming?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
The operator can't get an answer at Stillman's house.
Well, maybe he's in the middle of the operation.
So he's in the middle of the operation. What's the matter? He can't use one hand to pick up the phone? We can't wait no longer. I gotta turn in the starting lineup. Corrigan?
Yeah, Mouth?
You'll pitch tonight. All the rest of you, same as before. Now listen, you guys. That's the enemy out there. That's the New York Giants. And while we're out there playing, a fella named Casey is lying on a table struggling to make it. And I know that the last words out of his mouth before the knife went into his chest were, "Go on out there and win one for me." And I'm going to tell you something else, fellas. From now on, there's going to be a ghost in that dugout. Every time you pick up a bat, look over to where Casey used to sit, because he'll be there in spirit, rooting for us, cheering for us, yelling, "Go, Zephyrs, go!"
Hello.
Oh, hi there, Professor. And I'm going to tell you something else about him. He has heart. Not a real heart, maybe, but that guy who's lying there with a great big hole in his chest, he...
Hello, Mr. McGarry.
Hello. Now, as I was saying... Casey?
Hey, how you doing? Hey, welcome back.
All right. Knock it off. Quiet in here.
Sorry we're late.
Well, you got something to tell me?
Go ahead, Casey.
Listen, Mr. McGarry.
I'm listening.
He means his chest. Put your ear against it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Hear it, sir?
I hear it. Casey, you got heart.
And look at that smile on his face. That's the one thing I could never get him to do. Smile.
How do you feel, boy?
I feel... Well, frankly, I feel wonderful. Just wonderful. I feel togetherness with everybody.
Then, let's go team!
Yeah. Casey starts tonight. The new Casey. Now let's get out there and show him what we're made of.
Here, get your
red hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is what we've all been waiting for, the big one. Oh, there's joy in Hoboken tonight, let me tell you. I wouldn't miss this one for the world. One of the greatest comeback streaks in history. Casey takes the pitcher's mound. The umpire signals the start of the game. Casey winds up. He throws. And it's a high fly over the wall and out of the park. That's a home run for the Giants. What a way to start the game. Well, that'll be a big 1 on the scoreboard.
What's he doing?
Cool it, guys. Casey's just playing with him, making it more exciting. Know what I mean?
If you say so, Mouth.
Another run for the Giants. Now it's 3-0. What's wrong with the mighty Casey? That's what fans want to know. And it's all over. A shutout for the Giants. Looks like Casey's streak is history.
Well, 1 minute he's 3 Bob Fellers rolled into 1, and the next minute he's a tanker with nothing. You want to tell me what's going on?
It's rather complicated.
Then you tell me, Casey. Start by explaining how one pitcher can throw 9 balls and give up 4 singles, 2 doubles, a triple, and 2 home runs.
I don't know what to say, Mr. McGarry.
Shall I tell him?
Tell me what?
It's because Casey has a heart now.
So? He has heart. Big deal.
The thing is, Mr. McGarry, I just couldn't strike out those poor fellows. I didn't have it in me to do that, to hurt their feelings. He
felt compassion.
What?
That's what he's got now. Compassion. See that smile on his face? Give an individual a heart, Mr. McGarry, particularly someone like Casey, who hasn't been around long enough to understand things like competitiveness or drive or ego. And it's bound to happen.
Oh, my aching back.
I'm sorry, Mr. McGarry. I just couldn't hurt their careers. Professor Stillman thinks I should go into social work. I'd like to help people.
That's what happens to you. Should I tell you what happens to me? I get shipped off to a baseball farm system that consists of 1 silo and a McCormick Reaper. The only thing we get come spring is a wheat crop. Right now, I'm gonna go have me a drink.
Oh, Mr. McGarry.
What do you want?
I was wondering if I might come with you.
What for?
Do you mind, Casey?
Oh, don't worry about me, sir. You go ahead.
Good. Now, Mr. McGarry, I've been doing some thinking.
About what?
The characteristics necessary to make a great baseball player. I figured out the mechanism for hooks and curves and sliders, and I think Casey is the perfect height. But when it comes to temperament, motivation, attitude, that sort of thing, there may be a better way.
Such as?
I might be persuaded to build another model, new and improved, who would work out even better. I could have him ready, say, for next year's spring training.
Who's gonna pay for it?
Oh, I've got the funding, don't worry. But I thought if we could go over the plans together.
What do you got in mind?
Let me draw you a picture.
Geez, that's a heck of a story.
Yep. Of course, it didn't work out. The professor didn't have the money, and he wanted certain, perks that old man Beasley wouldn't agree to. So it fell apart after that. But for a few weeks there, a bright, shining time it was. We didn't just have heart, we had hope.
How do you know so much, Mr. Corrigan?
Because I used to play with him when there still was a team called the Zephyrs.
No kidding.
Come on. We better get back to work. You finish your lunch?
Yeah.
Then let's go. They're gonna flatten this place to the ground tomorrow. We gotta get it marked off.
I guess so.
Once upon a time, there was a Major League Baseball team called the Hoboken Zephyrs, who, during the last year of their existence, wound up in last place and shortly thereafter were consigned to oblivion. There is a rumor, unsubstantiated of course, that a manager named McGarry took some of them to the West Coast and wound up with a pennant and a World's Championship not long after. This newly revised team had a pretty fair lineup of pitchers with names like Drysdale, Koufax, and Sherry, or so the story goes. So if you're interested in where any of those now famous gentlemen really came from, here's a tip. Just check under B for baseball in the Twilight Zone.
We'll return to the Twilight Zone in just a moment.
You are about to enter another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind, a journey into a wondrous land of imagination. Next stop, the Twilight Zone. Hi, this is Stacy Keach. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our Twilight Zone website at twilightzoneradio.com. At twilightzoneradio.com, you'll find the latest information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas, including behind-the-scenes photographs, plus the newest product releases, trivia contests, ways to contact us, other Twilight Zone-related info and merchandise, plus links to other fascinating websites. So make your next stop twilightzoneradio.com.
Visit twilightzoneradio.com to purchase these Twilight Zone radio dramas on cassette and CD, or call toll-free 1-866-989-ZONE. That's 1-866-989-9663.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.